right, have and have not fans. It is 8:17 a.m. in Virginia right now, and just woke up not too long ago. Wanted to play around with my microphone and everything a little bit more. A lot of people were upset that last night in the live stream you could not see me, but hey, hope everybody can see and hear me now. I'm opening up the live chat as I speak. I see a couple people saying hello. Zombie Thief 6 and Jamar. Good morning, good morning. Hey, just so we're clear, can everybody see and hear me clearly? Just going to wait on some chats to pop up here. Can everybody see and hear me clearly? Oh, good morning, good morning. See a couple chats here. Oh, here we go. Okay. That's all I need to know. If you can see me and hear me, that's all I need to know. So on your screen, you should see me. Then, of course, black screen. Still playing around with this. It's going to get to the point where I learn how to screen capture, where you'll see me in the corner, but then you'll see my computer screen all over the page itself. So what we'll do from there is I can actually pull up the live chat so we can pretty much see as well. If I'm not mistaken, you should see what everybody else is chatting. So this video is pretty unscripted. We're just going to talk about some different things. I want to focus on what I'm hoping for in the next season of the Haves and the Have-Nots. Now, one of the things I really hope we'll get is good pacing. By that, I mean we don't spend too much time on the same topic. That's been one thing a lot of fans have been voicing their opinion on, based off the fact that all we get is maybe 2 or 3 characters discussing the same dialogue for 5 episodes. Like, for example, we'll have Jeffrey and Wyatt talk about something for like 15 minutes of one episode. Then the next episode, we have Jeffrey discussing the same topic with Candace and whatnot. And, oh, Zombie Thief says, I think Candace will take everybody down. I agree. I don't know if she'll take everybody down, but I'll definitely think that she has some sort of plan of action in order to get the ball rolling there. And Trini, where's Celine? I've answered that question like 20 times. I don't know. I feel like either her or Carlos was the reason behind Amanda's death, and she will show up in the near future. Those are just my thoughts on the matter, but let me just play around with something real quick. Oh, wow. Cool. Okay, so when it comes down to Celine, she's probably not going to show up for... I don't think Celine's showing up until maybe next season. I don't feel like she, Carlos, or Tony have a reason to show up just now. Let's see. Trini says, I have a love-hate relationship with Candace. I feel like that's a majority of the fan base here. I don't really care for Candace in recent episodes just because of the way she's acting, until she opens her eyes and discovers that, hey, I'm the one that's been messing up because I've sown all these seeds of deception, of lies, of distrust, adultery, blackmail, deceit. And then she wonders why, when people come after her and her loved ones, I do think at the very core she did care about her son. Once they get hurt, then she realizes, oh, wait, it's your fault, Mom, for not protecting him. And it really just hurt me. And again, this just shows how, even though this is a TV show with fictional characters, the actors and actresses do such a great job when it comes to actually portraying the characters, that when Candace was talking about how, hey, I wish you got shot instead of my son, that really resonated with a lot of people that watched it, because you can hear the hurt in her voice, but she was directing her anger and rage at the wrong person. That's what I think. Okay. Zombie Thief 6 says, I think Benny will look for revenge from the Criers. I don't think so. I feel like he even said at one point, I believe that was when Candace was trying to get Benny to sue the Criers. Benny said he didn't want anything to do with it. I got my tow company. They pay for my hospital bills. I'm good. Let's see. Naisha Beckel says, when will the show end, and when it does, will there be another to replace it? Currently, to my knowledge, since Tyler Perry is leaving Viacom, the Haves and the Have-Nots and If Loving You Is Wrong should be ending around late 2019 or mid 2020. I don't know if there's anything afterwards. I really think with a fan base as strong as we are, if we make our voices heard, we send in petitions, tweets and whatnot, I think at the core, there might be a chance the show will continue maybe on another channel. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with this, but a lot of people who watched this show back in the day called The Game. I mean, if you watch Sister Sister, you know Tia was one of the stars of the show. Remember, I believe it was the CW that dropped it after 3 seasons. Then BET picked it up again to continue on for about 4 or 5 more seasons. So I feel the haves and the have-nots is definitely something that will continue on as long as the fan base makes their voice heard about it. Okay. Trini also says, I understand her thing with Hannah because Hannah isn't faultless, but how dare she say that Hannah did it to get back her. Okay, that's one of the main reasons I don't like Candace right now, because that was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard come out of her mouth. I get that people grieve in different ways. You know, basically you're not thinking straight because you're full of emotion, but to think that Hannah would allow her grandson to die just to get back at Candace, that makes zero sense whatsoever, because think about all the times that Hannah begged and pleaded Candace, hey, let me get custody of Quincy Jr. You know, I'll take care of him. I love him. I'll do whatever I can to raise him right. But at the same time, it really doesn't make sense why she would think, hey, I'm going to get Quincy Jr. to die so I can make Candace upset. That doesn't make sense to me. That really doesn't. So I don't know why she would say anything like that. Okay, we got Zombie Thief again. And I think Dave will find out about Erica in the mid-season finale or season finale, and one of them might pull out a gun and start fighting over it. I don't think there will be a shootout between the two, but I do think that at some point David does need to find out the truth, just because I don't think... Remember how Oscar and Candace were a thing, but what was that, maybe for half a season or so? Then she found out during the finale. So I think that he'll find out soon enough. Jamar says, do you think Tyler's going to do the same thing he did with Amanda to Veronica? We have to wait a couple of episodes to find out what happened to her. I think, okay, last season started off pretty good. Basically, you know, picking up where they left off after Quincy Jr. got shot. Though one of the biggest complaints that fans had about the show at that time was, how long is it going to take for Candace to figure out her son is dead? Almost, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, every single character on the show knew about Quincy Jr. dying but Candace. That's saying something right there. So if Veronica, I think it would be a smart move for at least maybe the first 1 to 3 episodes. I'd say no more than 3 episodes. We don't know what happened to Veronica. I feel like, okay, maybe 3 is too much. Maybe for the first couple episodes, they don't show or do anything like that. I think a good thing they can do is pick up where they left off with, you know, Hannah after the funeral home, Jeffrey after being arrested, Candace. I feel like there are a lot of ways that they can not ignore, but do other things aside from focusing on Veronica. Oh, Trini, Crystal Fox did an amazing job of her grief over Quincy Jr.'s death. I totally agree. I feel like that's one of her best acting scenes in the entire series. I dare say that's probably one in the top 3, no doubt. Jacobe said, what do you think Quita said to make Candace beat her tail? I feel like it could be anything, because she's a hood rat and Candace doesn't play that. I mean, literally, if she probably said something to get on her nerves, but as I said in the trailer breakdown, you notice the fact that Candace is laughing and being held back by that guard. So something tells me that Candace probably easily beats her or something like that, because I don't think she will be the one that's getting held back by the guard if she was the one getting whooped. That's why I think. Let's see here. Quita, her crackhead acting self. She gets on my nerves. Okay, I don't despise Quita's actress. Here's what I think. I feel like Tyler Perry picked that actress for a reason, because she could portray the annoying sister to one of the biggest villains of the show. So I feel like Quita was written to be this annoying character who you wouldn't think give a second thought to in regards to, oh, she could be a potential threat in the next season. But as I said before, I think it's possible that she becomes like the big villain at some point, because when you really think about it, she being the sister of Quincy means, and again, I don't really know how drugs work on the street, but Warlock and his crew for the most part are dead. Quincy was the head of his own gang, and of course Quita was right underneath him. That's why she was bossing a lot of people around. It's like, I can't really do a Quita impression, but let me see if I can. It's like, you know what? While my brother is out on the streets, I'm in charge, so you better listen to me. Don't make me tell Quincy. So I'm figuring since Quincy is dead, Warlock and most of his crew is dead, aside from the Malones, technically speaking, wouldn't Quita be the #1 gangbanger on the streets right now? I'm just trying to think about the hierarchy and how that would work. Oh, Zombie Thief. Imagine if Quincy and Amanda were together. I feel like that would be a lot of problems that would occur from that, because I feel like Quincy and Amanda would be no better than Amanda and Candace in the sense that he would only be using her for his own means. That's why I think. Oh, I did great. Talk about my brother. I want to be up in here, and I gotta watch what I say because I don't want to be demonetized or flagged for bad language. But yeah, Quita is something else. Just talking about this and that. I feel like Quita, one of her most annoying scenes was when her and that boy held up Wyatt and went back to his house, well, condo or whatever, and then they had sex on his bed while he was recovering from the drugs. That was messed up. I hope he changed those bed sheets. I know I would have. Ain't no telling what they got. Okay, Jacobe says, how do you think Candace and Erica are going to act around each other? That is a very good question, because if I'm not mistaken, it looks like the next time they might be seeing each other face to face for the first time since the Mama Rose Warlock shootout. Whew, man. I feel like Erica is probably going to be timid for one, because she'll probably not even suspect that Candace is coming by, or, well, Erica might give her the address just to, check in with her. So I don't know how that's going to act. I feel like Candace is like, look, you're only alive right now because you're doing a job for me. Until then, just know that I have no use for you except for David. So my question really isn't about Candace and Erica. It's more like, if Erica succeeds in getting money from David, does that mean she's no longer useful? Because remember, Veronica and Candace are supposed to team up. But if Veronica is out of commission for quite some time, that's, hey, cool kid, see your chat there. If Veronica is out of commission for quite some time, does that mean that the Candace-Veronica team up is going to be on hold for right now? Okay, Zombie Thief. Imagine if Erica tries to join Quita's crew. I don't know. I feel like Quita and Candace are going to be. When I first did the trailer breakdown, it looked like, Candace was just visiting Jeffrey and they were talking. But then rewatching it a few times, I noticed that Quita and Candace were in the same cell, meaning that they must get arrested for something. What they get arrested for, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Even I don't know. The fact that they're in the same cell means that they might be getting arrested at the same time. We'll really have to see. My question is, are Quita and Candace in the same cell at the same time that Candace is talking to Jeffrey through the bars right there? Because if so, that makes sense as to why Quita's talking smack about how you killed my brother and now you're going to pay. All right. Lucille, yeah, I'm looking forward to the new season as well. And again, this is just like an unscripted live stream here. I'm glad to hear that you all can see me, you all can hear me, especially after last night. Because again, I got so many people who are upset about, I can't, it's just a blank screen and all. I'm like, oh, dang. Like, again, think about this. I'm just sitting here playing around with the tech, but hey, I'm just glad that things are working out. I feel like every live stream is going to get better than the last one. So, hey, okay. Okay, Trini, you said Candace got arrested at the hotel and Quita's there for the Wyatt thing. Two things on that. Number one, remember that Candace did get arrested at the hotel. However, Veronica got her out, even though it was all screen. That's right. If I'm not mistaken, Candace wasn't wearing the outfit that she's wearing in the trailer that she was when she first got arrested and Veronica got her out. That's one of my problems with the finale. There are a lot of things that weren't shown on screen, like Veronica going to the hospital to pick up Melissa and things like that. So I don't think that Candace is still in the jail cell because of the outfit. The second part of the question, Quita is there from the Wyatt thing. That's a no, because remember that Justin was there to arrest Quita and then the guy, because Wyatt was able to call the cops. Either Wyatt called the cops or Jeffrey did. I forgot who did. But then Justin got jealous thinking that Jeffrey and Wyatt were a thing. And he told the policeman, remember, there were two cops. It was Justin and one other guy. They, sorry for moving my hand. I talk with my hands sometimes while I try to map things out. Justin told the cop to take Quita and the guy down to the street. But then he called down and said, hey, you know what? Let those two go. They didn't do anything wrong. So Quita's going to be arrested for something else. What it is, I don't. Could it be her trying to break into Candace's house? Well, not the bank's house. Do Quita and Candace get into some kind of fight out in public and get arrested? I really don't know. I really don't know. Okay. Trini, do we think Melissa's dead? Okay. Here's something else that, and I follow all these people on Instagram and Twitter. Jacqueline Beckham, the actress who portrayed Amanda, she actually tweeted a picture of herself and I forgot her name, but does anybody out there watch Dear White People on Netflix? Because Melissa is actually one of the main characters, and the other light-skinned girl that actually is like a radio jockey, she played the girl on Meet the Browns, the TV show. She posted a picture with Jacqueline or Amanda saying that, hey, so glad I'm able to work with this girl on Dear White People. So the next season of Dear White People, Amanda, not Amanda, but her actress is going to be on there. So I suggest if you haven't watched the show, at least watch that episode. So I feel like Melissa, Melissa plays Coco. The thing about Coco on Dear White People I love is the fact that Coco is like a Veronica character, somebody who's at like a preppy education, high education school or college. She knows what she wants in life. She's very controlling. I feel like if Melissa was like Coco on the haves and the have-nots, those two would get along just fine. I really like that aspect of it. And I think that Melissa, it would not surprise me if she is dead based off the fact that Dear White People is really taking off. Because the first season, a lot of people didn't know what to think of it, but it's actually gotten quite the fan base. Now, I gotta admit, it was actually pretty good. I sat down and watched like 3 episodes, and then I couldn't stop watching until I finished it. So I feel like Melissa being killed off is not a surprise to me. Or at the very least, she's going to be out of commission the entire season in the hospital due to the fact she's filming Dear White People. So honestly, Melissa doesn't have, and here's the thing, I've said this before, every time I start getting attracted to somebody on the show, Tyler Perry kills them off. Maggie, Amanda, Jennifer, and the list goes on. Every time I start to think, wow, not only are they attractive, but they're smart. They have a great story arc. They have a lot to add to the show. They get killed off. I hate that. So, Melissa, I feel like the same way. I feel like, yeah, that's right. The episodes were only like 30, 40 minutes long. That's why I was able to just sit down and watch them all. When it comes down to Melissa dying, I don't think that would be a bad thing because honestly, tell me, what does her character really have to add to the show now? I really can't think of anything she has to add to make the show go on because we know that she's suicidal. Her mom doesn't catch up. I mean, excuse me. Hope, hello. This is the first time catching you live. Glad you're here because again, this is the second time I'm able to actually get the microphone and camera working. So I hope everybody can hear and see me. Well, it looks like everybody is because the chats keep on coming in. Hope, glad you're here. This is unscripted. This is just have and have not discussion. If you have any questions about the show, the characters, any of my theories of the upcoming season, feel free to chat and I'll do my best to answer. Yes, the whole pregnancy against Jeffrey thing, I guess. Melissa, here's my thing on Melissa. Okay, let's just focus on Melissa. Let's just try to focus on one thing. Melissa only did what she did to save her father. That's all she did it for. She became Veronica's guinea pig, got impregnated by Jeffrey, was going to marry Jeffrey, carry and have Veronica's future grandchild. All to actually give her a grandchild. That's it. And that was to save her father. But with her father dead, because here's an interesting thing. Remember how Jeffrey stabbed Quincy to death? Well, he stabbed him to the point that he was bleeding out on the floor and fell unconscious. Later on, he came back to life. Candace was sitting there the entire time. She had the opportunity to call the cops. Well, excuse me, the 911 to try to save Quincy's life. She didn't do it. So even though Candace physically wasn't responsible for Quincy dying, her actions were contributed to him dying. So she's just as guilty as Jeffrey when it comes to Quincy's death. When it comes to Veronica and Melissa's father, remember Melissa said, hey, my father hasn't gotten his cancer medication. And Veronica's like, well, my son hasn't been laid yet. So pretty much she was saying that, okay, Melissa, until you actually have sex with my son, your father won't get his medication. So even though Veronica wasn't physically responsible for Melissa's dad dying, the fact that she had the ability to get the medication for him but didn't do it makes her just as guilty. So the fact that Melissa's father's dead, her mom really doesn't care about her. I mean, her mom treats Melissa just like Veronica treats Jeffrey. So the fact that the only person that cared about her is dead, what does she have to live for? Really, what is she? If she wanted to live, she wouldn't have tried aborting the baby and killing herself so many times. And I've said it before that Melissa is like the new Amanda of the show. That's why it is sad if she did die in the car crash, because I felt like Melissa would have been a way for Jeffrey to semi-redeem himself because he couldn't save Amanda. So maybe he'll try to save Melissa. So those are my 2 cents on that. There was one good question I want to get to real quick. Jamar said, can we talk about that new girl that's working for Candace? I read her name's Cheetah, Gita. Could somebody send me a link or where you found that information? Even I haven't really found that yet. So I really don't know what to say that I haven't said already. I mean, I feel like it's going to be somebody who Candace knows, somebody that's working for her. She's going to use her to get to Jim like she's using Erica to get to David. Really, that's all I have to say about it for the moment. I mean, honestly, we need to get a couple episodes before I actually have more to say. Let's see. Yeah, Trini says, I understand it would look bad because about how many times they stabbed him, but covering it up made things 1,000 times worse. Here's my thoughts. I think Jeffrey should have called the cops when he wanted to, but Candace took the phone and threw it in the garbage disposal. Is that it? Garbage disposal? It was to save her own behind. It had nothing. If Jeffrey would have, I think even David said, why didn't you call the cops? It would have made, yeah, you're right, 1,000 times worse. If they would have called the cops, I think things would have not have been what it was. Put it this way. Candace is friends with people, but put it this way. What's the best thing I'm looking for here? That saying, hey, I'll be with you through thick and thin. Candace is barely there for people when things get thin, but when things get thick, she's dipping, basically. Like, she pretends like, remember, she was the one to get Jeffrey to come out of the closet. She's the one that put him up in the apartment until he got on his feet. But when it got to the point where her butt was in the fire, she just left him high and dry. I think one of the key scenes was when Jeffrey was in the hospital. I think it was to see Wyatt, maybe, or after he stabbed Veronica. It was either Jeffrey who called Candace or Candace who called Jeffrey. They were talking on the phone. Candace hung up on him and called him back because she was so paranoid, thinking that he had the phone wired. At that moment, that's when I knew, like, she does not give a crap about Jeffrey. She would let Jeffrey go to jail for her than to help him out. I really think that's the case. Hope says, I'd like to address a question you put out there a few weeks ago. You asked if Melissa raped Jeffrey. I think she did that at Veronica's instruction. That was an interesting video. I think that, I'm trying to remember what I said. I remember doing a blog on that as well. Given the fact that I don't even know if I should use this comparison. You think about how it's not a day that goes by where a celebrity, a business owner isn't trending because they've been accused of sexual allegations. I never thought I would see the day where there would be more individuals charged with sexual assaults than the Bill Cosby case. Like, you know, all the women that came forward there. I feel like there's a bigger number of people who, Russell Simmons, and the list goes on. In my mind, and again, everybody has their own definition and perspective on rape. The way I saw it, Jeffrey never really put up, I really, and again, this is like a sensitive subject here, so bear with me here. Jeffrey had everything in order to stop it in terms of the rape. Here's what I think. I feel like Jeffrey was more concerned with covering his homosexuality than actually getting laid by Melissa. That's what I think. Because there was never, he could have easily said I'm gay, which I'm pretty sure that Melissa knew, because she even said later on, your mom said I have to have sex with you that night no matter what, even if we had to watch porn. If you remember that scene, because again, this is when I like, okay, Melissa is pretty cute. Well, not even after she took her clothes off, but I just liked, like the way she looked in that red dress and all. Not when she was talking like 50 miles a minute. That was like really unattractive. But when she like kicked off her shoes, it was like, ooh, queer eye for a straight guy, sat on his bed. The one thing about that scene I did not understand was, remember when she was trying to get Jeffrey to get in the mood, she grabbed his laptop, was like, ooh, let's watch porn. And I thought to myself, did Jeffrey not have a password on his laptop? Because if you remember, she opened the laptop, clicked on a website, and then pulled up some porn. And I'm like, I'm on a laptop right now, obviously doing this recording. When I close it and open it up, I have to log in. Like, there's no, hey, a girl comes over to my room, she opens it up and automatically pulls up some porn or some nasty website. I don't get that. That makes no sense. Again, it's plot convenience. So when I first did the video, I'll admit I did say that, yes, I feel like Melissa did rape Jeffrey, but I don't think that it was a situation. I think that rape is something like, look, it's something that you have no control over. Yes, you could, dang, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a situation where, like, you have no ability to stop what is going on. However, I feel like even though Jeffrey was in a drunken state, he had the strength physically and the ability to just say, hey, I'm not doing this. But he literally let her push him on the bed and pull down his pants and do the business. And if I'm not mistaken, he said he was thinking about Wyatt the whole time. That was the only way he was able to get up for the occasion. So, yeah, we'll just those are my 2 cents on that. Good question though. I like that question. Okay, cool kid. Do you think David will see how true of a friend Jim is? David might stop being friends with Jim. I feel like David's connections with people are stronger than they have with him. What I mean by that is that Jim Cryer is like, I feel like they're boys, but David is the more dependable one. I feel like the defining moment of Jim's character with his friendship with David was when he tried to convince David that Jeffrey was the one to hit little Lizzie at the beginning of season 2. And then of course David gave that famous line of, I'm a good friend, but I'm a better enemy. After Jim did that, that's why I'm like, this guy he'll do whatever it takes to save his own butt. Same thing with Candace, a friend, but when it comes down to her butt in her fire, she will literally push those people she claims to care about in front of a bus to save herself. That's what I think. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Oh, also on the case of Jim and David, remember when they were in the hotel after Mama Rose had the boys drop Jennifer's body at the news station, and Jim was like so pissed off about the whole situation of, what are we going to do, David? Mama Rose is mad at us. We're screwed. We have nothing. And I'm just sitting there like, David had nothing to do with this. It's like, Jim is like, just because I'm in a situation right now where my life is on the line, you're in with me too, boy. It's like, that makes no sense. I don't know. Okay, cool kid. Do you think Jim ever loved Catherine? No. I feel like Jim was more in love with Catherine, with what Catherine could do for him rather than her. Yeah, that's right. I think he loved her for the money and the opportunities that her family could give him because he came from nothing. So, again, I feel like the same thing with, and again, this is just a parallel of Jim Cryer and Candace Young, where they claim to love people, but honestly, they can't get rid of their old personas. That's why I think. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, keep the questions coming. This is just like me waking up and it's like, you know what? Let me do a fresh live stream to make up for last night. So got the camera hooked up. Everything's good. You know the thing I hate about cameras, like, it makes your head look kind of weird, like, extra cheeks. I don't know, it's weird because like my face does not look this huge because I don't know, a little weird. Camera adds 50 pounds. Just kidding. Oh, yes, I agree. I definitely love the Catherine Hannah friendship just because we've seen different levels of the friendship between getting to know each other, having their riffs when it comes to the Wyatt and Benny situation. I feel like my favorite moment was when Catherine pretty much told Hannah, look, shut up, take this blessing that I want to give to you. Because you talk about how you love God and you pray and you ask for blessings, but you help so many people that when a blessing is right in front of you, you don't want to take it. I will admit Hannah is right to be cautious of a quick blessing because it could be easily taken away. But at the same time, she's denying help that she really needs. And that's something that she really deserves. That's what I think. Okay, cool kid. Do you think Veronica will have David killed after she gets his money? No. I feel like David being alive is actually going to be, I feel like David being tortured is more satisfying than him being dead. That's why I think. Okay. All right. Okay. It's been 30 minutes so far. I don't plan on ending it anytime soon, but if you have any other questions, I'm more than willing to talk about it. Oh, on the first short trailer, I've seen Veronica because I've always thought of her as a snake. That I actually like. I did not think of that. I thought the snake was more, Candace pretty much getting her revenge being a snake in the grass, but to not show Veronica but have her in the form of a snake, I actually think that's a pretty cool metaphor right there. Oh, just got like a 1 pound weight in my hand, just like playing with something. Like if you have a desk job or something, like you just play with your hands with like a pen or something when you're thinking. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Yes, Hannah's pride gets in her way sometimes. A lot of the times, I couldn't agree more. I feel like Candace and Hannah are both very stubborn in the sense that Hannah's pride prevents her from receiving or accepting the help she's offered, while Candace is so stubborn that she's stuck in her ways. What if Jim goes to jail over Jennifer's death? I want to be honest here. I feel like, oh, Kimberly says, I just watched all of your videos. Thanks for uploads. You are very welcome. And again, if you're new to the channel, I definitely suggest exploring my channel because I made playlists and there's so many theories, episode reviews, pretty much a little bit of everything. I feel like it's a great way to keep the conversation going, even though the show's off the air. So again, I thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Yes, I feel like Jim should never have gone out of jail. When you really think about it, ever since Jim got out of that jail cell, everything has gone wrong for him. He gets home. What does he find? Jennifer's body in his living room. He tries to seduce women. It doesn't go the way he wants it to. He tries to use his charm, his wit, but nothing Jim has done since getting out of that jail cell has gone right. Trying to get Warlock to work for him, it didn't. I feel like he's better off in jail. That's what I think. Oh, I do see a couple more questions, but there's one thing I want to point out. Somebody actually pointed this out last season in terms of Wyatt is better off going to like a recovery clinic for a while because he's getting annoying. I feel like the same thing should have happened to Amanda in the sense that instead of being killed off, Amanda should have been sent to like a asylum or something to get right, where she doesn't have to be in every episode. She could have been like mentioned over the phone or she come to visit at some point. I don't feel like Amanda should have been killed off the way she did and when she did because there were so many she was like an unopened can of worms. There were so many different like plot lines, character development that never occurred that I wish happened. So that's how I feel about that. Let's see. How do you feel about Hannah? I've seen conflicting viewpoints about her. I see how people see her as a slave type, but I understand how her holier than attitude sometimes rubs people. I feel like Hannah comes off as a hypocrite to a lot of people, and I can see why. Where she's a Christian, but at the same time, she doesn't really live the life she speaks in some cases, because you look at how she treats her daughter, but how she treats other people, I can see why a lot of people don't like her. But here's my thing. It's about practice what you preach, take your own advice. The same thing with Jeffrey. You know, he's like I believe he said he was like one credit or one class away from getting his psychology degree. I think he said that in like episode 2. The way he tries to help, like Wyatt and Justin and Melissa, but yet he's the one that needs to get help for his anger issues. That's how I feel about Hannah. Like, yes, she's a Christian. She loves God. She gives great advice, but she doesn't really walk the life that she tells others. Not perfectly, but what Christian is perfect? But at the same time, I like Hannah because she's real. Like, we all have that one person in our family, at our church, who is a strong Christian, but they really don't walk the life that they tell others about. You understand what I'm saying there? That's how I feel about Hannah. Oh, Jacoby, who do you think Q loved the most? Dang. Are you talking about little Q, Quincy Jr.? Can you chat me back on that one? Okay, while I'm waiting on that chat, let me just see another question here. I think you need a character like Hannah to balance out characters like Veronica, Candace, and Jim. I completely agree. Just like, I'm only 26, but I grew up with, and I even had the DVD set, Sanford and Son. I loved it. I feel like Lamont Sanford is like the straight man to the con man that Fred Sanford was. I feel like one of the best examples of that was the episode where Grady got like all those social security checks from the government. And then you had Lamont like, look, that's not right. I'm going to call, tell him what's going on. At that episode, I didn't like Lamont's character. But at the same time, yeah, it's a good idea to have somebody to balance out the deceitful ways of another character. That way, it's not like a huge stereotype of black people. Oh, you are talking about Little Q. I feel like, again, he wasn't really there long enough for me to have an opinion on this. I feel like at the core, he loved his grandma, his Uncle Benny, and Candace, his mom. I feel like he wanted to get to know his mom more. I don't think they really knew each other that well. So I feel like he might have had the best connection with Hannah, but that doesn't mean he didn't love his mom. So that's why I think. Okay, Great Gamer. Oh, cool name. Do you think Hannah will become powerful because of her friendship with Catherine? Without a doubt. But the real question is not if she'll become powerful. Will she accept the power that comes with that friendship? That's what I think. Trini, what does Benny do this season? I don't know. I feel like Benny is going to be more of finding his own way, because I feel like Mitch is going to have an evolution, becoming more of a Malone, and Benny is going to be responding to that change. That's why I think. Okay. Oh, keep the questions coming. I like this. This is pretty fun. And again, if anybody out there is good with YouTube, like, if you have any kind of software where you can live stream as well, I think there's a way we can actually link up where I'm actually having a verbal conversation with another person. Like, we'll have the live chat coming up, but we'll also be talking at the same time. So, okay, well, I haven't seen the chat. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes here. If anybody has any other questions, type them below. If not, we'll just wrap things up pretty soon. So, any last minute questions before we close up shop here? Will Catherine kill him next? Are you referring to Jim? Are we talking about David? Who are we talking about here? Yes, the funeral home scene was definitely one of the best scenes in the entire show. Not the season, but the show. Do you think Candace might harm her mom? This is just prediction. I think that Hannah will plot something against Candace will plot something against Hannah, but then Benny's going to be the one who takes the fall for her. Not intentionally, but I feel like Benny might be the one to suffer because of Candace's plot against Hannah. That's what I think. Okay, it was cute when Candace and Little Q were at the motel. Yeah, so I love that scene where, when he was in Candace's lap playing a video game. She was just like, oh, what do you got there and stuff. And then the one scene where he was taking a bath and he talked about how I prayed for you, and I was like, oh my God, can you, that was just horrible, because that was the last scene those two had together. It's just like, I pray that God will like look out for you too, or something like that. And then Candace was kind of taken aback by that, and then the next thing you know, he's dead. I was just, oh my God, that was such a powerful scene. Oh, wow. See, I was about to close out the live stream, but now I got a few more questions. This is great. Uh, Cool kid. No, I don't want to talk. Well, Landon offered Charles sexual favors. As I said before, we got that one scene in the trailer. Uh, Charles is like sitting at the foot of the bed, and then Landon's like on his knees. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Let's see. Yes, kill Jim. Dang, there was another one. There was another good question. Let me just scroll, see if I can catch it real quick. Oh, Great Gamer said, "Do you think Catherine would kill Jim?" No, I don't. I don't think so. No. Do you think if Veronica dies, we'll see her mother? Yes. I feel. Remember when Amanda died? I thought we would get more of like Jim and Catherine's extended family, but we didn't get anything. Like we probably could have had a house full of relatives, but we don't even know. We don't even know. Will we get to know Erica's background? Do we really need to? All we know is the fact that she has a kid that's staying with her parents, and the fact that she's one of Candace's bottom hoes. So I don't. I feel like the only thing about Erica I want to know is why she hates Candace so much. I did a video on that, so that's what I think. Yet Trini says they can't kill off Veronica because she's the major antagonist of the show. That's a problem, though. That's why I hope she's out of commission but not dead, because you can't kill off somebody like Veronica because she's so entangled with so many other characters. So I don't think she's dead, but I think that she'll definitely be out of commission over maybe the next first half of the season. That's what I think. Okay. War killed her sister. Yep, that's what Erica said. We don't know if that's true, but that's what she said, though. But that begs the question: if War killed her sister, why is Erica with what? Why was Erica with War? Did it have something to do with power? Who knows? Because again, there's the thing about this show is like you can't trust anybody, and you really don't know where anybody's loyalties lie outside of themselves. That's another thing to think about. Great game. I feel like over the past 3 live streams, I've had at least 20 people ask me what happened to Celine. I did a video on it. You know what? Since we got the new community tab, I'll be sure to put the video out there so you can check it out. I wonder how her and War hooked up. Me too. I really want to know how those two hooked up and why. Erica probably lied about War killing her sister. Yeah. Think about how many times Candace during season 1 lied about her mom being dead, even when Hannah was standing right there. So, okay. 42. This is great. I mean, because this show is just a trip. I feel like the next time I do a live stream, do you want me to do another show? Like we'll talk about if loving you is wrong? Or we can talk about the... Here's one thing that surprised me. I did a video breaking down the Pains trailer, and that's over like 70,000 hits. I think we should do a live stream just talking about the Pains, like, you know, what to expect from the show. Will we see old characters? So Melissa should be killed off. I don't want to see her go, but honestly, I don't feel like her character has anything left to offer. I feel like Melissa being killed off should have taken a place for like Maggie, Jennifer, or Warlock, because those characters actually had more arcs and connections to the story, but they got killed off so quickly. So, yeah. If Candace and Veronica were in a fight, who do you think would win? Candace. I think about how much he beat up Aaliyah. I think Erica helped out too, but honestly, I was a bit disappointed by the cat fight in the elevator between Veronica and Erica, because that wasn't much of a fight. That was more like flailing angrily with David in the middle. So you think Veronica would win the fight? Okay, why do you think Veronica will win? Let me know, why do you think Veronica will win the fight? Do you think Veronica would kill Erica like Maggie? I feel like Candace and Veronica would kill Erica just because they're only using her to get back at David once the deed is done. That's why I think the Veronica and Candace team up is so good, because it's just like a supervillain team up, like the Legion of Doom, like Joker, Lex Luthor, Bizarro, Scarecrow, and the list goes on. These characters working together will take down the heroes, but right when they're about to attain victory, their own selfish motives will cause infighting and then they'll lose. So I feel like even though Veronica and Candace will team up and just raise just take everybody down. Right when they're about to strike the killing blow, one of them will stab the other in the back. That's what I think. But I think Erica is just going to be a pawn this season. That's what I think. Okay. I think Candace will win because she's younger. I will say this much. Remember that David's older than Benny, but as Mitch put it, David was putting up a good fight outside of the tow yard with Benny. Like, Mitch broke up the fight, but David was holding his own. So I wouldn't say that it will be an easy fight. I'm not saying it will be an easy fight, but I think Candace would win it. That's what I think. Yeah, just because Veronica's wiser doesn't mean she knows how to fight better than Candace. I feel like Veronica is slower to anger than Candace, but yeah, I feel like of course something goes down when there's $1 billion on the elevator. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Did you remember how Veronica was acting when the doors opened and she pretended that she was being beaten up by David, but then she got up off the floors like, and that fat security guard came down there to check out the scenes like, well, you should have gotten here sooner. Can you? Oh man! Oh yeah, the Jay-Z situation. Yeah, you know when that security came down to check on Veronica, I was waiting for Veronica to make a fat joke. I honestly was. Yeah, I'm not saying Veronica can't fight. I'm just saying that I feel like Candace would win. So, what if Catherine and Mama Rose get into a fight? Who would win? We haven't seen this Mama Rose do anything. I like this new Mama Rose, but we haven't seen her doing it. Mama Rose is the character people fight for her. She doesn't have to fight. Will Quita be killed off this season? I think so. I honestly don't see a reason she's in the show aside from being the substitute Quincy while my brother's dead. She fought Maggie and Erica. See, Veronica didn't fight Maggie. That was literally Maggie getting the crap slapped out. She was getting like she was being slapped into oblivion. Like, that was not a fight. Like, Veronica went in there and just slapped her constantly. That was not a fight. So I don't count that. Yeah, she fought Erica. Yeah, but again, I know it's a fight, but it wasn't a fight. A fight there's a winner. There was no winner because Dave was there breaking it up. So that's why I think. Veronica, you shouldn't mess with Veronica. I'll say that much. She's nobody I would take lightly. Maggie can't fight back. Well, if you got slapped, like if you got the taste slapped out of your mouth and you're on the floor and you're constantly getting slapped, it's going to be hard to get back up. That's all I'm saying. Will Jeffrey be out of jail? I think Jeffrey's going to be in jail for a little while. I honestly think, because I don't see how he can get out unless he has to help, David. So that's what I think. Or somebody else coming up to take the blame, but nobody's going to do it. I feel like Jeffrey being arrested for the Quincy murder is going to take the heat off of Benny being a suspect. But did they ever check that the bracelet for the DNA? Because if they do, then he might be arrested again. That's what I think. See, I'm looking at some chats that are getting blocked due to language, and I'm just laughing because I want to read them out loud, but I can't. I wonder how Erica's going to die. It's either going to be because of Veronica or Candace, in my humble opinion. So, hey, here's another. Well, actually, I think this is a dumb question. I feel like you all can see the live chat given the fact that you're talking to each other. Guys, this is great. Like, look, the show isn't going to be on until January the 9th, and it's almost been an hour since I started streaming. Can you imagine how long the conversation is going to be once the show comes back on? This is crazy. But I love it, though, because, again, I feel like this is a quicker way of giving my thoughts than actually recording, putting the pictures together, uploading the video. So keep in mind, live stream is fun, but I'm not going to do it 100% of the time. I'm still going to do the old school videos where I record my mic, I put the picture slideshow together, then I upload it to YouTube. So I just wanted to make you aware of that, but I do love this interaction. Oh yeah, it's going to be super long because here's my plan, because I'm doing YouTube full time. What my plan is, when the show is on the air, I'm going to be live tweeting. I'm going to be tweeting. When the show ends, I'm going to jump on the live stream. Then we're going to talk about it. Then, of course, throughout the week, I'm going to do theory videos. So if everything goes right, I hope to do live streams for the pains, if loving you is wrong, and the haves and the have-nots. So this channel should be really blowing up come January. Do you think the guy that's helping Quita robbing Wyatt is the same guy that was bullying Jeffrey as a kid? No, because the way I think about it, Jeffrey probably didn't go to a regular public school. I feel like that guy that Quita's with is just a random character, so no. Candace doesn't have the same respect as Veronica. Yeah, I totally agree. Veronica is like the more experienced version of Candace. Cool Kid, we need a Jim versus David and Celine versus Catherine. We've already had both of those fights, and David beat Jim, but he hit him below the belt. Like, I rewatched that fight like 6 times when it first came out. Jim was holding his own, but then David like hit him below the belt and Jim went down. That's what happened there. Okay. And Celine versus Catherine, yeah, again, I feel like Celine versus Catherine was no better. Well, it was a great scene, don't get me wrong. But I feel like that was no better than the Veronica versus Maggie because it was totally one-sided. And that's why I dislike Warlock's death, because if you've been following my channel for a while, I predicted the Malone versus Warlock gang war for quite some time. I was disappointed because that shootout was completely one-sided. I feel like maybe 1 or 2 Malones got shot, but Warlock and his crew got just murdered, like literally just... It was no contest. Like, literally, Warlock got killed before he even pulled out his gun. Hannah versus Veronica. Hey, let me think. I feel like Veronica will win that fight. Because I'm thinking about the Celine versus Hannah fight. Like the cat fight. But Celine was, like, holding Hannah back. I feel like it has to do with the height. Because Hannah is shorter. I feel like that. I feel like Veronica will win that fight. You know what would be cool? Like, if the cast members were on this stream, that would be awesome. You know what? I want to try to tweet some of these cast members to see. Again, this is a big deal. I don't know. This is just like a goal. If I can actually try to contact one or more of the cast members to do a live stream. Can you imagine how awesome a Q&A would be? That would be awesome. Maybe it would be better to try to get one of the cast members we haven't seen for a while, like Celine or Tony, just because if I talk to like a current cast, and again, I'm just a nobody, so I don't know if it will happen, but I feel like a current cast member can't really spoil things for the show, but at the same time, we can have an interesting conversation. So, hey, pray, let's see if it happens. Let's see if we can make it happen. Okay. Do you wish that Amanda, Champ Lou 101, do you wish that Amanda confronted Candace for sleeping with her dad? Yes. That's why I hated the way Amanda died. And again, I did so many videos on this. I hated Amanda's death. I actually hated the season 2 finale where she shot herself. Well, where she got shot. The only thing about that episode I like was when Quincy beat up Jim. That's the only thing I like. It's like, you been banging my chick, screwing, having sex. Amanda went up the stairs after finding out the truth about Jim and Candace, and we never saw her again until she went. Amanda and Quincy, they didn't sleep with each other on screen. The only time we seen those two off screen was when she went to get the death tattoo. So I don't think they slept together. See, the thing about Amanda's death I hated was the fact that we all know going into the finale that there was going to be the eeny, meeny, miny, mo where she's running around the house with a gun. And it was in the preview trailers. And that creeped me out. Remember how she had that laugh? that scared me. I hated it because what? Most of the last part of the episode was David and Maggie at the hotel. Then they randomly cut to, oh, Amanda's running around the house now. It's like, we don't see her having like a mental breakdown, kind of coping with the whole Candace betrayed me, my dad lied, and this and that. They could have done that. And that would have been great. Who do you think is the weakest character? Jacoby, are we talking in terms of who do I think the weakest character is in terms of like their personality, or who do you think the physically weakest character is? I feel like the weakest character on the show is Wyatt. I feel like he is. I feel like they really don't know what to do with his character. So I don't want him killed off because I think, you know, Aaron O'Connell is like a good actor because I've seen him on a few of the Hallmark Christmas movies. But I know that's a weird comparison. Look, don't judge me. Don't judge me. When I go home for like the weekends and whatnot, that's all my mom watches. How do you think Benny and Hannah will react to finding out that Veronica got Quincy out of jail? I feel like that this is why Maggie should not have been killed off because Maggie set it up so Veronica would be the one to get Quincy out of jail, so her hands are clean. In my opinion, I feel like Maggie orchestrated all of that so she can use that against Veronica when it comes to getting her hands on David. That's why I think. So I don't really know how Benny and Hannah would react to it, but I feel like that should be something that comes up in his death in the court case. Do you think Veronica was an escort? Absolutely not. No. Okay. All right. Any last minute questions here? Because again, this is great. We're almost at an hour. So, any last minute questions? I guess the bigger question is who's going to die this season. Let's forget about the car crash, Melissa and Veronica. But aside from those two, who do you think will die this season? I feel like maybe it would be Erica or Quita. That's what I think. Who do you wish to see David and Warm meet face to face? I never really had an interest in those two meeting face to face because really there was no reason. So I don't think. Who do you think is the strongest character? I feel like Catherine. Like Catherine is the strongest character. I feel that. I feel that way. Yeah, I wonder what Hannah's saying to David in the trailer as well. I really want to know what she's saying. Didn't Veronica sleep with Catherine's dad? Not to my knowledge. I feel like Catherine said that Jim slept with her sister. I feel like I heard that one before. Wait, what? Yes, Veronica did sleep with Catherine's father because she wanted a scholarship. Tell me where she said that. Literally, I need to go back and watch that episode. Where did she say that? Where did she say that? See, this is why Veronica's mom needs to show up. If there were two characters I wish would show up, it would be Candace's father and Veronica's mother. Just because I want more character growth for the characters that we have rather than introducing all these new characters. That's what I want. Somebody said David is Candace's dad. No, I don't think so. No. Somebody did tweet me or YouTube me an interesting question about, do you think Candace's father is a have? I feel like Hannah is withholding the information about Candace's father, just like she's withholding the information about Tony needing the kidney from Benny. That's what I think. Last episode of season 5, Catherine confronted her about sleeping with her father. I need to rewatch that one. I need to rewatch that one. Veronica walks around like she wasn't sleeping around when she was younger. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. But again, that's why they need to make a movie about what happened before the series started. You know what? If the haves and the have-nots is officially ending in like 2020, I hope that within the span of a year that Tyler Perry gives us a movie. I want closure. That's all I want. Do you think it's ironic that Wyatt and Quita have a brother or sister who have both met and are now dead? Yes. Again, that's why I love the character interactions here. She said it in the kitchen after Jennifer's death. I think that clip is on YouTube. I will go back and watch that today. Thank you. I'll definitely go back and watch that. I feel like Catherine is just like a well of information. Like all this stuff she never told anybody about, but she knew. So that's why I love her character so much. I'm going to do a community poll on this, but let me know. I have a top 10 video coming out soon about my top 10 favorite or the top 10 have and have not characters. Do you want me to do it as a live stream or do you want me to do it the old fashioned way where I have like a PowerPoint slide and I'm talking through? So that's interesting. You know what? Because I said this before, I'm not a fan of blood. So when Catherine and Veronica were in the kitchen with the knife, I didn't really pay attention to that scene because I thought she was going to get stabbed. So she probably said something about her father and Veronica sleeping together, but I didn't hear it. That's probably why. What's the whole reason Catherine hates Veronica besides putting her son in jail? Because Wyatt got taken advantage of in jail by Toxic thanks to Veronica. And because of that, that's why he went off the deep end, took more drugs, and that's why he overdosed. So that's why, sorry, that was my chair popping there. That's why Catherine hates Veronica. But the thing is, those two have to work together in order to get off this Jennifer Salison case. And I feel like the thing I love about Catherine is that she can always steal a scene with one line of dialogue. When she told Hannah, sometimes the devil you know is better than the one you don't, that was one of my favorite lines in the show. Do you think in the future that the Malones will get killed off by the FBI? What I love about Tyler Perry's universe, if you will, is in that movie, Medea's Witness Protection Program, the guy and his family were on the run from the Malones. So I think the FBI will shut them down at some point. There is this I've been working on this for a year now. Like, I have a notebook and everything. I've been trying to come up with a theory that all of Tyler Perry's works are connected. Well, in a way, like his TV shows and his movies. It's like, we have characters from other shows on different movies and whatnot, but it's hard to connect it because sometimes characters play roles that are... It's really weird. So maybe that'll be something I'd save for 2018. Do you think Veronica was ever a friend of Catherine? No, even Catherine says this in season 1. Veronica is only around her for social appearances, basically for status. That's all it is. You know what's funny is, like, every time I'm about to shut off the live stream, I get like 5 questions at once. Celine should be killed off. Yes, but not yet, because I feel like we need to know what she's done with all those millions of dollars that Jim has given her in child support, but she's still living in the ghetto. No, I don't think Veronica was ever a friend of Catherine, so I don't. Do you think Jim has a chance in redeeming himself? Nobody is above redemption, but they have a lot to redeem. That's all I'm saying. Okay, what if Catherine kills Veronica at the last season, like the last one? Catherine, Candace, Hannah, Jeffrey survive at the end? Nah. Nah. I don't want Veronica to be killed off. She has a lot to answer for. Being killed off is too easy. I don't want that. I will say this much. If Melissa dies in the car wreck, she went out in one hell of a bang because she did something that only a couple other people in the show were able to do, and that was to scare the living crap out of Veronica. The only other 2 characters, if I remember correctly, to do so was Catherine when she was chasing her around the house, and Quincy when he snuck into her house those couple of times. Okay, do you think Jim may get back with Celine? I did a video on this a while ago where I'm thinking maybe Jim is losing everything so that he becomes the father that he never was to his children by Celine. That will be... Remember when Celine had a husband? Remember that? Let's see. Dang, I can't believe we're over. I feel like this live stream has woken me up even more. Like, I'm more alert and awake right now. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. See, I'm trying to really make this channel more active because next week and this weekend during the Christmas holiday, I'm really not going to be online. So, do you think it would be cool to see Mitch and Wyatt interact? I'm all for character interactions. I just don't know how those two would interact. You know what? I am sad that Mama Rose and Jim has severed their connections because I really did like their relationship. Because I remember when those two were, when Mama Rose was first introduced, there was a theory going around that Mama Rose might be Jim's mom. So I do think that's sad that that connection is severed. Yes, I think that if Candace is pregnant, remember that Tinka Sumner had a baby, so in real life she was pregnant. So I don't know if the pregnancy will be written into the show. If the kid is by a warlock or somebody else like Charles, I feel like that child will be a great way of redeeming herself by losing Quincy Jr., but having a second chance of being a real mother. Do you think Justin will be killed off? I don't know how else Jeffrey will be able to get him off his tail, so... We shall see. All right, I'll take three more questions. Three more questions. Okay, counting down. How do you think Wyatt would react to finding his dad used to work with the Malones? I don't know because there's a lot about Jim that Wyatt doesn't know, and I don't even know if Wyatt knows much of anything about the Malones. So that would be interesting to say the least. Okay, two more. Okay, then that will make her and Hannah's relation better. Yeah, maybe Candace having a baby. Okay, if Candace still blames Hannah for the death of Quincy Jr., I doubt that she would let Hannah be in the life of her new child. So I don't think. I think the only way that Hannah and Candace's relationship would get better is if Candace opens her eyes and realizes, hey, I'm the one that screwed up. I'm the reason my child is dead. Because Benny's like, he came there looking for you. Cool kid. Okay, last question. Does Candace even love her mom? No. Enough said. Enough said. Yeah, if that baby's by a warlock, that'll be bittersweet because that baby came out of her being physically abused multiple times. So, whew, all right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how old Candace is. I know that she's younger than Minnie supposedly. All right. Well, with that being said, folks, it's been over an hour. This was a great live stream. This was awesome because I'm glad you all saw me. You can hear me. So again, hopefully the next live stream is even better than the last one. So save all of your questions for me for the next live stream. I'll be sure to announce when I do the next one. So with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful Friday. And if I don't talk to you again, I hope you have a Merry Christmas.